camera. You give it off, down.
Give it. Every so often, it seems as though two Hollywood screenwriters get the same idea for a movie at the same time, and their projects wind up hitting theaters in the same year. We're ramping up for another big battle next year when dueling adult-oriented Snow White films come out from Tarsem Singh and commercial director Rupert Sanders. We'd probably see more of these twofers if more movie studios didn't cancel themed films when they realized that they were going to be second to hit theaters with them, as happened in 2004 when Baz Luhrmann's Alexander was put on hold when Oliver Stone's version came out first. One such occurrence, though, took place in the spring of 1997, when two different movies with a similar theme hit theaters with less than 3 months separated. Both Dante's Peak and Volcano arrived with a flurry of CGI lava, each featuring a cathartic look at the effect magma has on the life and times of its heroes. Both films feature a central male character, pulled into their jobs from vacation due to possible bad things about to happen.
Take it easy.
Who have to figure out some way to mitigate said bad things before they kill a whole lot of people. Volcano had the at least unique idea of having its volcano erupt underneath Los Angeles, allowing for plenty of cell phone conversations and puns like "the coast is toast" to be utilized. Whereas Dante's Peak settles for a small mountain town with a digitally created, dormant volcano in the background. In true disaster movie fashion, side characters die horrible deaths, buildings explode, and our heroes find new people to make out with just when they're in the middle of saving the day. But let's assume you only have room in your life for one volcano-themed disaster film, and don't know which one to pick. That's where I come in. I'm going to break down both these films by a number of rigorous, scientifically determined categories and give you a mathematically proven winner between the two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural installment of Sidegrades. And we're going to start with Best Death of an Ineffectual Bureaucrat. It wouldn't be a disaster movie if our heroes didn't have some boss yelling in their ear about them being a loose cannon.
You're making a big mistake, Paul. This is an unstable system, and this town should be on alert.
You need a vacation.
And Harry Dalton's boss in Dante's Peak does the best job he can of undermining Dalton's authority and making him look like a panic monger in front of the town council. Joke's on him, though, as the volcano explodes a day or two later, leading to a rather memorable death as he struggles to cross a bridge. I love not only the pity-me look on his face, but also the appearance of the infamous Wilhelm scream as he meets his untimely demise. I give it a 7 out of 10 on the scale of ineffectual bureaucrat demises. That can't quite match the death of veteran character actor John Carroll Lynch in Volcano, though. His character, Stan Olber, isn't so much a bad guy as he is just kind of unconcerned with helping Tommy Lee Jones cut the red tape that stands in his way.
Why should we look bad just because DWP blew some pipes
Nothing blew down there, Olber. They hit a steam pocket.
He gets a pretty horrific, if honorable, end, though, when he manages to save a subway operator's life and, in the process, melts to death. That is a solid 9 out of 10. Best douchebag boyfriend. You know, the douchebag boyfriend is another stalwart movie trope, existing only to torment our lonely hero while he pines away for the girl of his dreams. That doesn't quite happen in either of these films, as Linda Hamilton's ex is simply mentioned in passing.
We were just kids. Haven't heard from him in quite a while.
That's pretty douchey, but he's docked points for being off-screen, so let's say a solid 5 on the douchometer. The evil boyfriend in Volcano is not only unexpected, since it's professional nice guy actor John Corbett, but the way in which he's douchey is also so transparently simplistic that it's obvious he was simply inserted so that you could have a real estate mogul to hate instead of just lava.
Okay, you've done your duty. Can we go now?
Norman, hold this. What have we got?
Here,
Patient
take
to
this.
surgery.
These people are strangers, Jay. Jay, answer me.
His explanation to his doctor's girlfriend that he's worried about what her patients are breathing on her is absolutely ludicrous, as is his insistence that she simply leave her job in the middle of a crisis because he's worried about the poor people she's hanging out with. Luckily, Tommy Lee Jones exacts his revenge on him by blowing up his building in the most ludicrous manner possible. slight edge to Volcano here, so we'll give that film an 8 in this category. Best non-lava death. Lava's not the only killer in a Volcano movie, as Volcano proves early on, when Anne Heche's butchy scientist friend gets steamed alive by boiling water. That's bad, but it's pretty tame by disaster movie standards, especially since it's mostly off-screen. 3 out of 10. Dante's Peak, on the other hand, clocks in with not only the hysterical death of a grandmother who jumps into an acidic lake, but also the shockingly brutal early passing of Harry Dalton's pregnant fiancée, who takes a goddamn meteor directly to the cranium and dies in his arms. And that's in the first 5 minutes of the film, too, so Dante's Peak wins this one going away with a solid score of 8 out of 10. Best cure for racism. Dante's Peak, unfortunately, doesn't seem very concerned with curing racism for some reason. There's an Asian guy and a vaguely Middle Eastern dude on Harry's team, but black people, nowhere to be seen. It's an unfortunate 1 out of 10 for Dante's Peak. Volcano, though, goes to great lengths to ensure that we all know the only cure for racism is molten hot magma flowing through the streets of Los Angeles. There is a painfully protracted back and forth between a kindly racist cop and a young black male, which starts off with scenes like this.
Want to get this guy off me?
Hey! Oh, great. Mark firm. Your hands.
That results in a hilariously stupid moment of understanding between the two.
Move! Move! Let's move this thing! 1, 2.
That is unfortunately topped only by the miraculously and gloriously cheeseball moment when a young boy steps up to the plate and delivers this little bon mot of understanding.
Look at their faces. They all look the same.
Volcano gets 11 points out of 10. Best puppy! Puppies hate lava, as this little guy Ruffy from Dante's Peak will tell you. He actually vanishes for a long time late in the film, only to reappear like a goddamn Greek god amidst a flow of golden lava just at the most dramatic moment in the movie. Pretty good, it's not bad. Solid 6 on the puppyometer. Better than a dog that runs, though. It's a dog that fights back. This little terrier Phil in Volcano proves that. He's gonna make sure he survives, but before he does, he gives that lava a piece of his mind. A good stiff growl to let it know that this is his house and that he'll be damned if molten rock is gonna steal his favorite bone. Point made, he wisely withdraws to his human companion, who will no doubt compose songs about his glory. 9 popular points for Phil. Best widespread destruction. At the end of the day, Volcano is actually kind of a tame Volcano movie. A few people die here and there, some cars melt, but in the end, Tommy Lee Jones saves the day and Los Angeles survives, albeit with a towering inferno still festering in the middle of it. The blown up building is a nice touch, sure, although it's so goddamn far-fetched that they're able to do a precision demolition like that in 15 minutes that you're kind of left rolling your eyes for the bulk of the climax. 5 Destructo points for Volcano. Dante's Peak, on the other hand, blows the shit out of the titular town and wisely complements its rudimentary CGI with some excellent explosions of miniatures. Even though the body count is likely pretty small, that doesn't mean that we can't take a bit of solace in knowing that people foolish enough to live next to a volcano will ultimately get what's coming to them, whether it takes a day or 1,000 years. Boom, 8 points for Dante's Peak. In conclusion, both of these films are admirable for their efforts to paint scientists as heroes, to the point where Tommy Lee Jones at one point utters a memorable line.
Find me a scientist!
And as the scientist of movies, it's my proud honor to name Volcano the winner of this little molten brouhaha by a score of 45 to 35 out of a possible 60 points. That's science, folks, and you can't argue with science. And that'll do it for the first episode of Sidegrades, but worry not, there are plenty more creepy clone movies out there to talk about, and talk we will next time here on Screen.com. I'm dancing now. Point made, he wisely withdraws to his human companion, who will no doubt compose songs about his glory. 9 popular points for Phil. Good. This is going to confuse people who see this and don't know what Screen is.